Good evening. So, who is Meredith Whitney and why do we care about what she says? Well, Meredith Whitney was the person, I guess, one of the people who predicted the great financial crisis back in 2008. Meredith is now saying that this housing market is going to be the worst in decades. What? Yeah. This is what she's saying. So we're going to talk about that tonight. So there was an article that was done in Business Insider talking about her prediction that this is going to be the worst housing market in decades. I don't know, is she right? We'll find out. We'll talk about that. If you're new here, thank you for joining me. This is your live weekly dose of real estate reality. My name is Jackie Baker, and we talk about all things real estate, housing market, all that fun stuff. So thank you so much for being here. So a couple of housekeeping things I want to bring up. First of all, we have a poll. If you saw that in the chat, if you get a moment, do me a favor, just click on that, give me your answer. The question is, if you had to make a move in the next 6 months, what would you do? Would you buy a home, rent instead, stay put and wait it out, or would you sell and cash out? So if you get an opportunity, please vote on that poll, and I will review the results at the end of the stream. Next item on the housekeeping. Also, you see on the banner, I have QQQ. If you have any questions, please type that in the beginning, QQQ, if you have a question. So it's easier for me to find it because chat's been getting pretty lively lately. It's a little hard for me to sort through the comments. So if you could do that for me, that would be amazing. Also, super important. If you just recently closed on a home, you went under contract, you got your offer accepted, tell us about it. Let's celebrate it because everybody's saying about how crazy this housing market is and how much it sucks and people can't find a house. People are still buying houses. See, people are still selling houses. Let's celebrate it. So please put that in the chat, especially if you are watching on the replay. I want to know about it because I go back and I read through the comments. So please put that in there. I want to know. So before I get on with the article, I have to say it. You all probably know what happened to me last week. And I have to say thank you. Last Thursday, I hit 100,000 subscribers here. Never, ever in a million years did I think that was possible. I'm still in shock over it. But I just wanted to say thank you to all of you that watch, you subscribe, you watch either the live stream or my weekly videos. I never, ever expected to be here. Never in a million years. I'm blown away. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for you guys for being here and supporting me. I also want to say thanks to, I feel like I'm at the Academy Awards. I'm sorry, but I have to do this. I want to thank my buddies, my friends. You know who you are. Jen Sylvester, you know, she's my bud. David Matney, Devon Clark, Joe Pareca, Olga St. Pierre, those who come on the live streams with me. I mean, I will call these people up sometimes at the last minute and tell them, you know, hey, I need a guest. Can you come on? And they, without hesitation, they're always there for me. I also want to give a special shout out to my bestie of 30 years, Jen G, who's the producer. She's the one behind the scenes that puts the comments on the screens. She's been a tremendous support. And Jen, thank you so much for everything that you've done and to help run this live stream every week. So the plaque is coming. I don't know when, but when I get it, I'm definitely going to be sharing that with all of you because I have to. The whole point of this channel was to create content to help educate people to advocate for themselves when you're dealing with a real estate transaction. And I just did this to help people. And little did I know I'd be here. I'd be a YouTuber. Who knew? Anyway, enough about me. I'm going to bring some comments up. Oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Karen, thank you. Jose, thank you so much. Oh my God. Daniel, thank you. I appreciate that. Bree, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. You guys are so amazing. Donna, thank you. If I don't get to all your comments, please I'm reading them, but I don't want to waste a lot of time on I just want to get to the stuff. Don't forget to thank yourself. Okay. I want to thank me, right? Who was that? Oh my God, Snoop Dogg. I want to thank me. JM, thank you, thank you, thank you. Ruth, congrats again. You seem so natural, honest person and want to help people. God bless you. And that's I'm glad that's what you're seeing, because this is who I am. This is what you see is what you get. And that's it. So I'm just here to help you guys. And God, I so appreciate you guys so much. You have no idea. All right. Enough about me. Meredith Whitney. Let's talk about Meredith Whitney. So Meredith Whitney, she's a CFO of a financial group, and she predicted the great financial crisis back in 2008. She said that was coming. Meredith is now saying that the housing market this year is going to be the worst in the worst we've had in 10 years. And sorry, I just had to put that up. Just Summer said, thank you. I'm so glad you did. It means the world. Okay, let me bring the article up. I'm so sorry. You guys are amazing. Okay. Here we go. So the housing market is set. I hate these ads. I got to do better with that. Housing market is set for the worst year in decades, says Meredith Whitney. Home sales fell 0.7% in May, with April posting the slowest pace since 2009. Meredith Whitney says the market's decline could worsen as the year progressed. A slow housing market could significant affect the broader economy. Sagging home sales underline the difficulties faced by the housing market. Existing home sales fell by 0.7% in May compared with the same month last year, according to the National Association of Realtors, following the slowest April in 16 years. Meredith Whitney thinks the housing market is set for its worst year in decades. The CEO of investment research firm Meredith Whitney Advisory Group and senior advisor of Boston Consulting Group told Yahoo Finance that 2023 and 24 were both bad years, but now it's looking even worse, with about 4 million sales of existing homes expected. Whitney thinks the actual number may be significantly below that figure. That poses a real problem for the general economy. Estimates of how much spending on housing, including residential investments and the purchase of services, contributes to GDP range from 16 to 18% per the National Association of Realtors and U.S. Congress documents. Whitney said that when a family moved house, they're also buying products at retailers such as Home Depot and often paying for renovations too. As a result, she said a slow housing market has a ripple effect across the board. The Federal Reserve was in a tough spot, Whitney added. Chair Jerome Powell said on Tuesday that rate cuts would be put on hold despite Donald Trump's demands for immediate cuts. For Whitney, the market isn't going to benefit from this. You have wage inflation and real inflation from goods, and then you have a slowdown in the economy. So we don't expect the housing market to improve that much at all, if at all. We think it's going to weaken throughout the year. There's also a real generational divide. Whitney said, adding that about 60% of existing homes are owned by people over the age of 60, whereas many potential first-time buyers are saddled with student loan debt and spend more of the discretionary income on rent. It's been cheaper to rent than it has been to own homes because of escalating property insurance and property taxes. I do not disagree with her there. We talk about that all the time. National Association of Realtors chief economist Lawrence Yun said subdued sales were largely due to persistently high mortgage rates. Lower interest rates will attract more buyers and sellers to the housing market. Increasing participation in the housing market will increase the mobility of the workforce and drive economic growth. Okay, guys, so let's dive into this. Okay. Yeah, listen, I understand what she's saying because I'm out and about showing people homes. It's expensive. It's expensive. Many of you know I'm here in northern New Jersey. It's outrageous, these home prices. Now, we do have softening happening in other parts of the country, but I think the key thing is it's the interest rates. Because I think the interest rates, when they come down to a certain level, it's going to motivate not only more buyers, it's going to motivate the sellers to make their move. It's the interest rates that's holding everybody back, right? We talk about this every week, the lock-in effect, right? People have The golden handcuffs, where they have interest rates that were like at 4% or lower. Why would they sell to go buy a house when you have an interest rates pushing 7% right now? They're not going to do it. So, to add to the whole thing about now we're talking about everyone's upset that Jerome Powell didn't cut the federal interest rate. I want to remind everybody, and I just saw a news conference today too, a press conference that the White House gave. Um, they're talking about how mortgage interest rates are lower in other countries versus here in the US. But you got to remember the federal interest rate does not directly affect the mortgage interest rates and makes the mortgage rates come down. It's the 10-year treasury yield. That's what the mortgage rate goes off of. So cutting the federal interest rate, will it say is that a positive sign saying that things are looking good in the economy and inflation's coming down? Yeah, it's a positive sign, which then therefore could impact the 10-year treasury yield and say, okay, things are good. The banks could lower the interest rates. But you saw what happened last September. The Fed did cut the rate, and even ahead of that, the mortgage rates actually went up, right? Because the economy, in their eyes, the economy, to the 10-year treasury yield and to the banks, still wasn't in great shape. So the mortgage rates actually went higher. So I think once we get to that point, we hit that 5, that magic number 5, I think things are going to start to move a little bit. Now, what she's saying here, I understand about spending all the money on the renovations, buying furniture, buying all the tools, all the fun stuff from Home Depot that everybody gets. I understand that. However, we got to take a step back and take a look at, this is the important thing is it's the cost of buying the home itself, right? The interest rates will definitely make an impact, but the prices need to come down. And I say it all the time, and I've said this to you guys time and time again, the prices I don't think will ever come back to 2019 levels. They're not. So at this point, if you are in a position where you're like, yeah, maybe I'm going to buy, make sure you have enough money saved, because the more money you have saved, the better the credit score you have, the better interest rate you'll have, and the lower the mortgage rate you'll have. The lower the mortgage payment you'll have, the more money you put down on your house. So that's what I have to say about that. What do you all have to say about this? Are you in agreement with her? Do you think that this is the worst year ever in decades for the housing market? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. So anyway, oh my word. We are just lively already. Hello, Clark. I'm going to say hi. So by the way, I am solo again tonight. My lovely producer I just mentioned before and thanked her up and down, she's not available tonight. So I'm running this by myself. But it's okay. I love her anyway. Thank you, Clark. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Ken. All right, I'm trying to get all of this. Oh, Mary Grace, we love you. I love you guys too. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Yes, Carla, I did it. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. Okay. Mary, first question. Are condos becoming more popular as they generally have better affordability for younger people or folks downsizing? Not really. Not yet. Was talking to an agent today who's down in South Jersey. I referred a seller to her. She sold their condo. They closed today. Congratulations, Barb Kyle, on the closing. And she was even telling me that the condo market down there, now we're talking Jersey, right? Everyone's saying Jersey is like a hot market. Yeah, not so much in South Jersey. The condos where this place was listed, this sold, are you ready? It sold for it was about almost 100,000 under list price. She originally listed, no, I'm sorry, it's more than that. She listed this condo at 315, sold for 200. What? Yes. Now, I don't think listen, it is an affordable option because now the prices are coming down on condos. It is, but you gotta look at the HOA fees. This is what's deterring people from buying them because of the insurance rates. Rising insurance rates are causing the HOA fees to increase. It's tough to afford that. I mean, look at my situation. I have a condo in Delaware. My HOA fees are more than my taxes. They are. So it can be an affordable option. Not so much when you're buying the property, yeah, but when you tack on those HOA fees on top of it, you got to be very careful. It's going to be a lot. Why, hello, Charlton. Thank you so much. Anissa, thanks for being here. When selling a house with deferred maintenance, where there are few recent comps and very little inventory in rural Ohio, in the rural area of Ohio, how do you set a price? Okay. First of all, line yourself up, align yourself with a realtor that's in that market, that knows that market. What they're going to do, if there's few comps, sometimes this is what we're taught in real estate school. Sometimes we have to go outside that area within a certain distance, like so many miles, like a radius outside that town to look for similar comps. Or you can go back and look and see what has sold and what, like go back 6 months, see what they sold for, and then make the adjustments accordingly. Okay, so if you're seeing homes selling less now than they were 6 months ago, then that would give you a good indication of your pricing. But the number one thing is you got to talk to a real estate agent to run those numbers for you. The other thing you could do, you could get an appraisal. It'll cost you a few $100s, but it might be worth it. If you're really stuck and you don't have any decent comps, it might be worth your money to spend money on appraisal just so you have a more accurate number of what the house is worth. JM, just when I thought it was safe to get into the real estate market, you scare the heck out of me. Not your fault. JM, I don't mean to. But I'm not, I listen, you know me, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to tell you how it is. Hey, Pat. Oh my gosh. You helped me so much introducing me to a wonderful agent in California. Thank you, Pat. I'm so glad you hopped on. Oh my God. It was so great chatting with you earlier over Messenger. This is great. Thank you so much, Pat. I'm glad you really liked Lindsay. That makes me happy. Yay, Donna. How are you? Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Let me see. We have another dark splash. Knowing what you know now, would you have instead preferred to build your home from scratch or stick to buying a new used home? That's a great question. Okay. I'll be honest with you. I would prefer a resale. I prefer an existing home. Only because I've seen a lot of new construction homes lately. I'm not retiring for a while, but my husband and I, we've been looking at newer builds in the area where we're contemplating retiring. They're not that great. They're not. And I've done several videos about new construction homes, not to bash the builders, but they're building kind of crappy products right now. So I would rather get something that's already been built. Like my house I'm living in right now, it's 47 years old. It's got great bones. Haven't had any problems with it. So I think I would definitely prefer a pre-existing home. We got here, Jim Harrigan. I'm seeing homes that have been on the market for 6 months to a year. The location is what I'm looking for. What kind of problems should I look for in buying such a home? Okay. Jim, I'd love to know where you are if homes are sitting on the market for 6 months to a year. Typically, the number one reason my home is sitting on the market for so long, it's the price. The first to look at. Now, if you go and you want to buy one of these homes, see if there's a seller's disclosure on file. See if the seller has, noted any known issues with the home. The other thing is you're going to hire a really good, reputable home inspector. Now, the key things I would look at as far as red flags, you see my videos I've done about red flags. You want to look to see if there's any cracks in the foundation. You want to see if there's cracks like in the ceiling or the walls. Now, mind you, there could be normal sediment cracks, which are fine. You also want to look for like water stains. That was an indication that there was a water problem at some point. Like, look in the ceiling, in the basement. You can tell when there was water because you'll see like a line on the wall, like just like a few inches above the floor. Yeah, that's hard to get rid of for some reason. So that's unless somebody paints over it, that's an indication that there was water in the home at one point. So those are a few things to look for, but the most important thing is you got to get a very good inspector to help identify any issues. All right, Matthew Kennedy, thoughts on a mobile home by the lake as an alternative to full lake house? Technically, you get both amenities by the beach and lake. Is it just an appreciation issue? Um, yes, it is, honestly. A mobile home, manufactured home will not appreciate in value as much as a standalone single family home. So that would be the only thing I would look at. If you're retiring there and you really don't care, I mean, it's fine. It's a nice affordable option for many people. But that is one thing that why people wouldn't consider it. The other thing with mobile homes, you have to pay, there's usually land leases. You're going to pay a lot rent. And in some cases that could be 700 upwards to like $1,000 a month. So think about it. You spend like $150,000 on this manufactured home. Great. Now you got to pay the land lease on top of that. So keep that in mind too. Oh, Charlton, you just have the best questions. What drives real estate? The 1% class who buys McMansions or middle class, white, blue collar class? You know what? It depends on where. It depends on where. Um, not I can't speak for all markets. Depends on your location. MK, thank you so much. You guys are so nice. Mm. Donna, we have a 2.5. We are participating with 7%. Time to retire and relocate. Good for you, Donna. Listen, sometimes, I say this all the time. You can't time the market. If your situation calls for, I need a house right now, I need to downsize right now, I need a bigger house right now. If your situation's calling for that, then so be it. You make it happen. Again, don't sit there and sit back and wait for prices to come down, wait for the interest rates to come down. If the time is right for you, then you got to make the move. All right. All right, here we go. Matthew, much love from Northern New Jersey. My girlfriend's in New Milford, and we can use your services in Bergen County. Matthew, I'm so glad you mentioned that because I do have a link down below. I'm going to mention this again at the end of the stream, but I have two links right now. One, if you need a real estate agent referral in your area, wherever you are in the country, I've been referring people to agents around the country. They're having wonderful success. I've been pairing them up with amazing agents. There's a second link. If you are looking to buy or sell in Northern New Jersey and you'd like to work with myself and my team, you got to click that link. And then I will set up a Zoom call with you and we can have that conversation to discuss your needs. So Matthew, please click on that link. I'll share it again at the end, but feel free. Here we go. JM, do you think if it does crash, the rebound will be relatively short, 5 years? First of all, it's not going to crash. We're going to correct. And I don't know. No one can predict the market. No one can predict it. It could be, if it's like what happened in 2008, how long did it take to recover from that? We had the rebound like within a couple of years. So let's think about this, right? It happened in 2008. We bought the house I'm in now in 2012. And that's when that's here in Jersey, at least, that's when things started to make a rebound. Because it took about 4 years. So yeah, but that's if it crashed. I mean, a correction. I keep being told is that yeah, the prices will come down, not a huge percentage. And what's going to happen eventually is that homes will then go back to start appreciating at a normal pace, like 4 or 5%, not this 15, 20% that we've seen from the pandemic. So, oh my God, you did officially invited to the cookout. Thank you so much. Taking you up on that. I am so taking you up on that. All right. Mary says, should I not buy a house in 2025? Mary, it's all that comes down to your situation. If you are financially ready for that right now, you have the down payment, you have the closing costs, you have your emergency fund, all those things, and life is telling you, you know what? I need a bigger space. Yes. Then it's time for you to buy. But I can't tell you, I'm not going to be like, not to knock agents, but I'm not gonna be like a lot of agents like, "Yeah, go buy a get into real estate right now, go buy a house." Is it a great investment? Absolutely, but I'm not gonna tell you to go buy something if you're financially not ready for it. I'm not doing it. I'm not that agent. So, let's see. Oh, Mark, next up 200. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm getting there. Someday defect trivia giveaway like you and Jen did be a great way to celebrate. You know what? I know I'm working on that. I'm working on that. Um, let's see. Hello, my friend Clark. The HOA fees in some condo buildings in Metro Atlanta are crazy. This one condo building in Midtown, HOA fees 1,082 a month. Are you for real? That's ridiculous. What do you get, Clark? What do you get with that? 1,082. You better. I hope it's like super luxury living, and you got like a nice pool and gym, and like hope there's like a nice restaurant on grounds or something. I mean, good God, $1,000. That's crazy. Fred says even with low inventory prices, still holding steady in Southern Connecticut. Yep, same here. Same here. Like so the client that I congratulated in the beginning, we got there. They're buying a house out in a little west from here. 10 offers, guys. 10 offers. And who won? We did. I got them the house. I did. Oh my God. Talk about stress. Did everything I could to help them get that because they wanted it badly. So oh my God. I think I like offered to, like whatever. I would do whatever for the listing agent just to get her. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But it was a lot, but we got it done. We got it done. Dark Splash, Dream Team Jen and Jackie should totally make the podcast into a reality show. So funny story. Jen Sylvester was here with me this weekend. She came down to visit. Oh yes, it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. So yes, we are very good friends. So yeah, we've talked about that, Jen and I. Like, we should do something. Yeah, but I don't know who'd watch us. Seriously. Uh Not a question, but an update. Survey came back and the elevation allows house to be removed from the flood zone. We're moving forward and seller is getting nearly asking. Congratulations. That's huge. That is huge. Oh my gosh. I love that for you. That's awesome. Good for you. All right. I own a 4-bedroom, 3-bath townhome in Clearwater, Florida that is going through a rebuild after Hurricane Helene. I purchased for $340 and owe $250. Insurance is paying for the rebuild. Need to sell. What price? I do not know that market. You need to get connected with a real estate agent. They'll tell you. They can tell you what you should sell it for. And if you need me to get you with somebody, that link down below. Happy to help you. Do you think we'll ever get relief in Bergen, Passaic County? These prices are really disheartening. I don't want to leave this area. It's home. I hear you. I hear you. But there is a little hope, a little bit. Certain areas, certain towns in Bergen and Passaic, I'm seeing homes sitting longer. Or if they are selling, they're not going as high over asking as what we've seen over the past 5 years. If you're interested, I do have a house for sale in Passaic County, but it's been that one's been sitting. That one's been sitting on the market. I don't know why. I mean, I thought we priced it very well because it was listed with another real estate agent. It was priced, I felt, way too high. We were comfortable. My team and I were comfortable listing it at the price it's at. Still not moving. Now, mind you, it is the summer. So another piece of advice right now, if you're here in New Jersey, and I'm sure in anywhere in the country, but mostly in New Jersey, the market is super slow right now in Jersey because everybody's away on vacation. It will pick back up again end of July, beginning of August. So I think now's the time if you're going to try to buy a home. There's less competition. So keep that in mind if you're here in Jersey. Mark's Google, good house to sell, the majority of the rest sitting. People would have had a bidding war for that dump before. Okay. Jose says, is it common for a home in Bergen County to have radon? If a house is known to have radon, should it be avoided? They usually have the mitigation system. Excellent, excellent question. Yes, radon is very common here in the lovely Jersey, the dirty Jersey. So it's just because there's so much of that rock here in this county. I have a mitigation system in my house. The radon, when we bought it, the radon test came back high. The seller put in a mitigation system. They work great, and I don't see it as an issue. If you're comfortable with it, the mitigation systems work just fine. So that's something to you don't have to avoid it as long as you put and usually the sellers are the ones that'll put the mitigation system. And fun fact, some new builds I've seen around Bergen County, they're building them with the mitigation system already installed. Just because. It's not saying that they definitely found radon, but in the event that it does show up. Like, so the previous owners of my house, when they bought it the number of years before they sold it to us, their radon came back fine. We come in like 10 years later, sure enough, they had radon. So yeah. Okay. Here we go. Andy Arts. I can get a 5.13% rate with mortgage relief program, but it's running out. Should I rush to lock in this rate or wait and get a home at 6.7? If you found a home and you can lock it in, how long does that lock in last for? I mean, if you're in the market right now shopping for a house, yeah, lock it in. That's what I would do. All right, one more question. I'm going to move on to another article. Okay, so do you think we'll ever get? Yeah, same question. I don't want to leave. It's home. I know. It's it's so hard up here in North Jersey. I understand. I totally get it. And I don't. They're not going to come back down to what they were 6 years ago. Sorry. All right. So listen, I want to talk about. So Meredith Whitney said this is going to be the worst market in decades this year. So I did a little digging for you guys. So I found the history of housing market crashes. Okay. So the most recent, it says here, the most recent U.S. housing market crash took place between 2007 and 2009, with the most dramatic impacts of the crash occurring in 2008. All right. So the 2008 housing market crash was one of the primary causes of the global financial crisis, wreaking havoc on financial stability of the entire economy. As the U.S. housing bubble popped, housing bubble occurs when there is a rapid increase in the market value of housing, followed by an even faster decrease in value, which is the crash or bursting of the bubble. Now, this is not what's happening right now. We're not seeing prices drop 20, 30%. If you look at these other markets like, Texas, Florida, Nevada, they're going down by like say 5%, 10%. They're not dropping rapidly. Here's another reason why we had that crash. Borrowers couldn't pay back their loans. That was the subprime mortgage crisis. We don't have any of that going on right now. Oh no, those days are long gone. The guidelines have gotten much stricter. It's a lot harder to get a loan right now, so we're not seeing any of that anymore. So that wouldn't be an issue. So this is interesting. Timeline of the major housing crashes in the U.S. I thought this was kind of cool. So look at this, guys. 1837, we had the Panic of 1837. 1873, there was a stock market crash. 1929, we had the Great Depression that was started by the Wall Street crash. And in 2008 was when the housing bubble burst and led to the global financial crisis. So this is like really interesting stuff here. So these crashes were caused by stock market crashing, right? But then 2008, it was because of the housing bubble. And why? It was primarily due to those subprime mortgages. Don't have that right now. We don't. So when people are saying, when you see all these people saying on this platform, market's crashing, I beg to differ. So this is just some interesting information I wanted to share with you guys about that to give you a brief history of prior market crashes. So I thought that was good to bring up with you guys. Oh, I see a win. Hold on. Wait. Or maybe not. Hold on. We're Nisa, we were under contract for what we thought was our dream house in a popular town in Georgia. Inspection uncovered major defects such as foundation, roof, electrical, plumbing. Dodged a bullet. You sure did. You sure did. Listen, don't ever be afraid to walk away either. If you see things that, even if they say, oh, the seller will give you credit, they'll cover for half of that repair, and you're still uncomfortable with it, walk away. Do not feel like you have to continue with the transaction because that problem could become something even bigger and it's going to cost you a lot of money. Travels. They want to raise my taxes in Jacksonville. How do you dispute this? So, I'm assuming they're talking about reassessing because we're seeing that a lot now. Now that all the home values have risen, the towns are jumping on that bandwagon and are reassessing home values to increase your taxes. So you could go back and appeal it. I don't know the process down in Florida, but that's something you can research. Like do research of like property tax appeals in Florida and look that up and see if you can. Usually there's like attorneys or there's services that will help you with going back and appealing your taxes. Paula, that was a good one. Doing a 130, I'm assuming you meant 1031. 1031 exchange, how long does one have to purchase the next house after the sale of the first house? From what I understand, you have 6 months, but you have to identify the next property. You have to identify the next property, I think, in 45 days. I think it's 45 days. But what I would do, you can speak to people who are 1031 exchange experts. I would do a Google on that and see if somebody can help you with that. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm 37, first-time homebuyer with fiance. I have 815 credit score, 120 saved, make 210 annual. It's still scary. 600K that went 475 3 years ago in Pennsylvania. We renewed apartment, waiting for FHA bomb in September. I think I move in snow or now. Okay. Thank you, Engines Vertical Line. I so appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Pennsylvania's not cheap anymore. It's not. It's not. I'm not surprised. But you know what? Listen, good for you. If the renting is cheaper for you right now, that'll give you can just focus on saving more money. Any debt that you have, I know you have a great credit score, but like any little debt that you have, get rid of so you don't have that hanging over you. I was offered to buy a timeshare. I don't know that. I can't pronounce that. Timeshares, that's not my thing. That's not like, to me, timeshares aren't like really real estate. I've heard very bad nightmare stories about timeshares. Do your research on that one before you make that decision. My state has some first-time homebuyer grant programs. Are there potential catches, drawbacks to applying for using something like that? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But you got to align yourself with a lender that specializes in those grants. Not specialized, but they're familiar. They've used those grants before, and they understand the whole process. In some cases, if you live in the house for so many years, like if say they give you a grant towards your closing cost, right? Or towards your down payment, you won't have to pay that back as long as you live in the home for a period of time. But every state and town is different. So, do your research on that too, on that specific program, and get aligned with a lender that is familiar with it to help you through it. Let me see. Oh my gosh. All right, we have another question here. This is my favorite part. I love answering your questions. I love hearing everybody's stories. This is just amazing. If we found issues with the home during the inspection, what are some of the ways to get out of the deal given there's a contingency clause on major repairs? Well, Depends on the issues that you found. Now, we're talking about major issues. So we always say we limit inspections to only look for any concerns of structure, environmental, and mechanical in some cases. So if any issues show up on those structure, environmental, mechanical, then you can go back and ask for repairs or you can cancel it. If you find something else that's of concern, I don't like I mean, I can't even think of something off the top of my head, but if you find something else that is of concern, speak to your attorney, speak to your real estate agent about that. If it's something that you feel like it's going to be a big deal breaker, and it could be, you have to see where does it fall under? Does it fall under environmental or structure? Or if it doesn't, I would still get the opinion of your attorney or your realtor because you might be able to get out of it. Um, oh, I love this. Jay Whiskey, put my house up on Easter Sunday, sold on Monday. Good for you. Good for you. Um, let's see. You guys, so much tonight. This is great. Okay, Allie, would you consider buying a home you love, but there are two Airbnbs on this well-maintained gravel road, one at the end of each road? I don't know about that. Me personally, and if I'm living there full time and there's Airbnbs on my street, I don't know about that. I don't know. That's just me. Some people it may not bother. It may not bother them at all. But for me, because you got people coming and going, parties, traffic, all that stuff. I don't know. That's just me. Something to I just want to food for thought. Just something for you to think about. I'm not telling you should do it or not, but just something to think about. Does each buyer of a particular property has to pull out all inspection stuff like liens, property layouts, or can they use from other buyers pulled out information? Does each buyer really has to? So are you saying that you're looking for prior inspection reports? Because you can't unless the seller has a copy of it. But even then, they're really you're not allowed to share that because the buyer paid for that report. So I know us as realtors, we're not allowed to share that with another buyer. If my seller did their own inspection report, absolutely we could do that. But so say if they were under contract, they had another deal and they had an inspection, we can't go and show that buyer's inspection report because they paid for that. Okay. Oh, Clark. Oh, this is for the $1,000 a month HOA. You do get a pool gym, 24/7 concierge, gas, pest control, reserve fund, termite, and trash. Lovely. For 1,082. For 1,082, all this could be yours. All right. I knew you had a place in Delaware. Would you recommend property there? My parents are looking for a second place, coming from New Hampshire. Yeah, listen, I love Delaware. Property taxes are like next to nothing, although they are reassessing. They are reassessing down there, but depending on the location, if you're in the beach towns, now if your parents are thinking about going down to the beaches, the closer you are to the beach, the higher the taxes are going to be. So just take that into consideration. They are building a lot down there. There's a lot of new construction, which is, something I keep researching every time we're down there. So I think it's great that, it's a great climate. I like it because you still have your 4 seasons. Listen, no hate on Florida, but I could never live there year round. The summers would kill me. Couldn't do it. I need my cooler temps. I need my fall. I can't do it. But the beaches down in Delaware, they're absolutely beautiful. We enjoy going down there. So for a lot of retirees are moving down there. Theodore says, what's a mitigation system? So I was talking about the radon mitigation system. So radon is an odorless, colorless gas that can come up through the basement floor because of the rock underneath that emits this gas that comes through. If you're exposed to it for a really long period of time, like constantly, it could cause some health issues. So the mitigation system is installed that'll direct that gas out of the house. So there's like a little fan, there's a pipe with a fan in it, and it draws that gas out of the house to the outside. We get another super chat. Thank you so much. Robotic person. Just bought a home in Canada for 500, $399 rate. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Good for you. Good for you. Congrats. Let's see. Got another question. Okay. In general, do you think real estate pros should submit offers on new construction homes based upon comps of existing homes? This is becoming a trend here in North Carolina. Wow, that's interesting. That is really interesting because we're so used to just taking whatever the builder off, what their price is, and that's it. Well, at least the big builders. Now, a lot of the big builders are offering these incentives, so that's why people are like, "All right, fine, we'll pay that price." That's a good one. I like that. I like that a lot. I think it would be really good. I have not seen that. All right, JM. I'm so happy. I'm here to make you feel better. It's correction, not crashing. Not crashing. Ryan says, check out the Harvard Extension School article, How to Use Real Estate Trends to Predict the Next Housing Bubble from 2016. Walks through recovery, expansion, hyper-supply, recession, and duration. Ryan, thank you for sharing that. I'm going to look into that. And that's great. Great information for our viewers. Thank you. Jeff Underwood, how are you? As for the quality of mortgages written over the past few years, approximately 30% of FHA loans were funded with buyers having a 50% DTI, which is outrageous. That is outrageous. Who's approving that? Are you kidding me? Why would you do that? A 50% DTI? That's not good. Let me see. All right. Guys, bear with me here. Okay. Melvin, I'm in the process of buying a $705,000 townhome in Hawaii. I'll be using my VA home loan. Should I use the 3% seller's credit to cover closing costs or buy down my interest rate? Have your lender run the numbers. See how that's going to work out. What is more beneficial for you? Where is the big savings going to be? I can't really tell you that. I'm not a lender or what I can tell you, talk to your lender, crunch the numbers and see what will benefit you the most. All right, what else? Jay Whiskey says Pennsylvania isn't cheap in the Allentown area because it became flooded with godforsaken New Yorker and equally obnoxious North Jersey people. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So sorry, but it's the truth. I get it. I get it. What else? Guys, this is amazing. Okay, Fred Smith has a question. Looked at new construction house. Seller won't allow inspection until a signed contract. So yeah, listen, until some places they do that. Like here in New Jersey, we typically don't do a home inspection until we're under contract. New York is different. They'll do the home inspection before you go under contract. So everywhere is different. So it all depends. It all depends on your location. So if that's the rule that applies in that market, then yeah, then you have to have a signed contract. Dave Bannon, how are you? Had to walk out of a home inspection I'm getting old. Had to walk out of home on inspection day in PA. So bad, septic bad, well bad. Black mold everywhere, back to search again. Oh God, Dave, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, good thing you found out then and not when it's too late. CJC, yeah, took the ferry from Cape May to Lewis, Delaware a few years ago. It's nice on my list of places to retire. I love that ferry. I go to Cape May every year. I love that ferry ride to Lewis. It's so nice. Um, Ben Carter, multifamily property I'm interested in New Jersey. 3 months ago was sold for 560, now listed for 850. No major renovation that I see. What could be the reason? It's because it's Jersey and there's no inventory, especially multifamily homes. They go so fast. Now, I'm curious to see if that house sells at 850. I bet you it'll sit for a little bit. Just, I don't know, my gut's telling me. I don't know if somebody's gonna pay that, but if they listed it, say, maybe in the 6s or the 7s, that would have been gone. I think 850 is a lot. It depends on what they did. I know you said no major renovation that you see, but who knows? Did they replace the roof? Did they replace the HVAC? The furnace? You don't know. But it's because honestly, there's no multifamily homes. It feels that way. There's like no multifamily homes for sale in Jersey. It's hot commodity. Ruth says, trying to help my mom take advantage of her VA benefit. Is it possible to find a duplex, one to live in and one to rent out so she can keep more money? Can't you find a duplex for 250 in DE? In Delaware? I don't know about that, about finding a duplex, but yeah, you can do that. Live on one side and rent out the other for sure. But as far as the market down there, depending on where in Delaware, I'm not sure if you can find one down there. You have to talk to an agent. Let me see here. My partner is studying to take his realtor license, and he always takes notes of the things we learn from you, especially the 80%. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad we can help. Good luck to your partner on getting a real estate license. It's not an easy test to take. I had a hell of a time. But here I am, 10 years later. Thanks. I'm paying my buyer's broker too. My selling agent just told me to price in the commission. Oh, okay. That you're probably answering somebody. When are sellers going to stop living in Delulu land and come back to reality and start negotiating reasonable prices? Jay Bell, that is a great question. So I'm going to say this again. If you are selling your house, if you're planning on selling your house, get out of your head what if you're in a market that's definitely in that shift, we're transitioning to a buyer's market, get out of your head what home sold for 3 months, even last month. Just if the market has changed, price it to what the market is doing right now. Okay? Don't be greedy. Do not be greedy. Look, everybody's got a decent amount of equity in their homes. You're going to walk away with money in your pocket. So now is not a time to be greedy, especially if you're in one of these softening markets. So there, I said it. That's my PSA for the night. Ruth just request. Thank you, Ruth. I will get back to you. I will definitely get back to you. Rick Valley, I just took a real estate course. I missed it by 8 points. Great information to learn when doing real estate. Yeah. It's not an easy test. Here in Jersey, it's not easy at all. And it's gotten harder. I've spoken to agents who have recently gotten their license here, and they're like, that test was killer. I know people had to retake it like 3 or 4 times. I got it on the first shot, thank God. Not that I'm bragging or anything. So yeah, so you guys, this is amazing. Mary, I missed you here. Condos, Mountain View in Rockland. I know where that is. Amazing skyline, river views, pet friendly established neighborhood, ideal for commuters. Country club style pool, low HOA, just saying. I know exactly where that is, Mary. You know why? I didn't live too far from there. I grew up in Rockland County, so I know exactly what you're talking about there. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. God, oh my God, I love this guy. I love this. I love this. This is a good one. Is a 1% down mortgage worth it if they cover closing costs? Who's covering the closing costs? Yeah. I mean, the 1% down mortgages, it's okay, but I mean, they're really not 1% mortgage. You are taking another portion to put, because if you have to put 3% down, you have to, like, borrow the other 2%. So be careful with that. Because if you have to sell that, right? Say if you have to sell that house within a few years, you have to pay that other amount back, that 2% difference back first. So that's gonna be taken off the proceeds of your house. So be careful, of using those 1% down mortgage. But I'm not sure, are you saying the seller's if the seller's covering the closing costs? Yeah. Yep. Um, so yeah, hi MH. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Um, let me see. Wait, I just saw one here. Sorry, guys. Oh, this is a good question. What if you find out a neighbor is a sex offender? Here's the thing, guys. I can tell you, I always tell people, I share resources with people. There are sources online that you can look at to see if they're sex offenders in that neighborhood or live close by before you buy the house. Listen, but it doesn't help you with, God forbid, something happens after the fact once you're living there. Um, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. Yeah. Well, look, it's gonna go on a map. It's gonna go on this resource. I forget the name of the source. Forgive me. Because I haven't had to think about that for a very long time. You gotta, yeah, it's gonna be on this site, and people will see it. Is it gonna affect your price? Maybe, probably. I think so. I have to be careful with what I say, but yeah. So just, look, you can't. There's certain things like you can't predict. You can't predict. You don't know what's going to happen. You know. Um, so anyway, all right, I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay. So where are we at? 8:27. You know what? Let's take a look at that poll. What do we have for results? Okay. So I got 360 votes. So the question is, if you had to make a move in the next 6 months, what would you do? 40% of you said you would still buy a home. 40%. 15 said they would rent instead. 37% are staying put and waiting it out. And 8% say sell and cash out. So I love it. You guys are still optimistic. You're optimistic, and you see the wins that we talk about here every week. It's gonna look, it's still possible to buy a home. Align yourself with a good real estate agent, align yourself with a good lender, and make sure you do all the right things, and avoid making any of these mistakes, buying a house with problems. Crunch those numbers sideways, upside down. Make sure that you are comfortable with those mortgage payments. Hold on one second. We had another comment here. Ask builders for an inspection report. Good builders will have a third-party home inspector do an assessment. We provide the report and highlight repaired items to ensure transparency. That's a very good tip there. Thank you so much. Joe Jones, how are you? If you own rental property and depreciate it, do you have to reinstate? Put that depreciation back in when you sell it? You know what? I'm not the tax person. My husband is. I really don't know that answer. I'm sorry. Oh, we have somebody, Proud Liberal says depreciation recapture. So yeah. All right. Okay. So, we got another one, Proud Liberal. Why do people buy in New Jersey if the property tax is 20,000 plus per year? If you include insurance, repairs, and property tax, even if you pay it off, it is not a good deal. People are paying the property taxes because they want their kids to go to the good schools. New Jersey has been known for a very long time. We have one of the best public school systems in the country. And that's important to people. And they want their kids to have a good education. That's the value for them. Paying $20,000 a year in taxes, They see the value in that because of the education. So listen, that's how it is here in this state, you know? It's important to them. It's important that much where they're willing to pay it. All right. Oh, yeah, Ed, thank you. Consult your CPA regarding the depreciation. Thank you for that comment. Okay. So, all right, you guys, so 40% of you are going to buy a home. You said you still want to buy a home for the rest over the next 6 months, and I think that's freaking amazing. So, so what am I going to do now? I'm sorry. I'm like all over the place. Oh my god. All right. So, let's just recap. Is this the worst housing market this year in decades? I don't think so. I don't think it is. I don't think I think it's still going to be a correction. I feel like a broken record coming here every week and talking about this. But no, I don't see anything. I don't see major crashes happening. Like, I go against the norm on this platform where a lot of people are saying it's crashing. It's not. All right. So as I was saying before, I want to share with you guys, if you need an agent in your market, this is the form that you're going to need to fill out. Click this button, request an agent referral. So if you, wherever you are, California, Arizona, Florida, whatever, New York, you need an agent referral. This is the link you're going to click. You're going to fill out 2 forms. There's a brief questionnaire you're going to fill out to tell me whether you're selling or buying. Then you're going to get an email asking you to fill out a questionnaire. Now, that questionnaire is very important. I know some people find it impersonal. They find it annoying. I'm not trying to be annoying. I'm trying to gather information to find you the right real estate agent. That's the reason why I do that. So please, when you get that email, fill that form out, that second form that you get sent to you. It's very important. I need to have all that information. Now, as I said before, if you're looking to buy or sell here in Northern New Jersey, you'd like to work with myself and my team, this is the other link you're going to click. Selling or buying in North Jersey, let our team help. Same thing is going to happen there. You're going to click the link, answer the, are you selling or buying? You're going to get another form, fill that out. Once I get that back, I will contact you to set up a Zoom call so we can see if we're a fit. Tell me what your needs are, what you're hoping to get, and look and see if we're a fit. Not everybody wants to work with me, and that's okay. So it's all good. So be sure to fill out both forms. Oh, Cheryl, I thank God you made it. Thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for 100,000. Thank you. Thank you. Again, you guys are so amazing. I can't even tell you. I'm who'd have thought? Who'd have thought I would be here at this age, a YouTuber? Anyway, all right, stay tuned. Oh wait, oh my God, thank you so much. Thanks you for. I love you guys that keep coming back here. You're so awesome. You really are. All right, you guys, this has been amazing. Thank you all for joining me this evening. Have a wonderful week. Have a happy July 4th that's coming up on Friday. Please be safe. No drinking and driving. Be careful if you're playing. Don't be playing with fireworks. I want you all in one piece because I need you all back here next Monday so we could talk more about this housing market. All right. So everybody have a wonderful week, and I will see you next Monday.